everybody, today we are here to talk about how you don't throw a competition because Infold has provided us with a good example. This is the housing competition voting page, and I will ask you if anything is already obvious because it quite is to me. First of all, the amount of votes that each build has gotten is displayed. It's not like covered. There's no like build up to who has received the most votes. It's displayed right there. But secondly, if you come to here to vote for a build, the builds with the most likes are gonna be displayed right on top. It's kind of like top likes to least likes sort of sorting. And majority of people are not gonna scroll, so they're already predisposed to just vote for what's presented to them right here. And if I was to scroll, the amount that I can scroll right now ends at like 50 likes barrier. If you have less than 50 likes, the only way I could vote for your build is if I typed in your user ID, and for that I would need to know your user ID, search that build up manually, and then voted for it. Therefore, this is a very brutal contest of popularity, and if you won it in the first few hours, you're practically guaranteed to win the contest because your build has been permanently shown right there, right up front. Secondly, this competition had a panel of judges that judged which builds will get displayed or not. People are wondering whether that panel of judges was actually just AI, for some good reasons that we're gonna get into a bit later. But not every build that was submitted has gotten in. That's kind of the point. It's hard to actually know whether or not you have gotten in. I haven't. And honestly, no hard feelings. Like, looking at the builds that other people submitted, it kind of makes sense. I wish that I've taken some of my screenshots closer up to the thing that I was trying to screenshot, but effectively I was trying to figure out how do I capture my whole house in 10 screenshots. So I was doing like wide plan, open plan sort of pictures, when in reality I should have just thought about what would look aesthetic for 10 different screenshots. So that's kind of my problem. But as you can see, there's this word, accepted. There's nowhere in here that would display whether I have gotten in or not. So the way that you figure out whether you've gotten in or not is to type in your complete user ID and search yourself up. And if you can't find yourself, you haven't gotten in, which is a very confusing way of going about this thing. Effectively, this whole competition is a whole mess. Now, we have recently had a bit of drama to do with said competition. I'm gonna close Infold's page because not only does it love to blare music at me, it's actually lagging stuff up, so we have looked at this. You understand how the system works. Effectively, people were saying that this whole vote thing and displaying the top voted entries first is a terrible idea. People were getting confused whether or not they had made it in or not. And we eventually arrive at this comment. Another user has brought up that the entries you can vote on were shortlisted by a judging panel. Hence, some people can't find their entries. I can't find mine either, but I refuse to believe that this build, on the left, sorry about the shade, but it is a good example, made the cut, while my near 100-hour beast on the right didn't. There is, once again, some suspicion that Infold just used some sort of AI that has determined what has gone in and what hasn't. Because, like, as you can see, like, this build right directly behind me, that was cut. This build, like, to the left of me, the one that's, like, on the left half of my screen, that one has gotten in, and that is just the default build with all the furnishings removed from the looks of it. I had actually seen some empty plots of land. By this point, you can practically no longer see them because, once again, as I said before, you can't scroll to entries that have less than 50 likes. At the time of me recording my video, as time progresses, you'll be able to scroll to less and less entries over time, because as the top entries amass more votes, and the bottom entries still amass some sort of votes, that line for how many votes you need for your entry to even be displayed kind of moves over time. Now, the opinion poster was in for a fairly rude surprise at one point, because somebody has actually entered the competition with a scheme of a build that they have made. And they have posted proof of this, because this is like their original design, and they posted it on Reddit and everything, and they modified it a little bit, and they submitted it, and that supposed panel of judges has actually rejected their build. But then when somebody submitted an earlier version of it that was practically a duplicate, through copying their scheme, they had gotten in. So this whole competition also has a lot of plagiarism happening on top of that. And once again, to add insult to injury, the person that designed the build originally didn't get in. The person that then stole the build got in with said build, which is once again why I'm pretty sure that Infold relied on some sort of AI to just like accept some builds and then like reject some builds instead of like having an actual human touch. And to be fair, they had 2 days from when the submission time ended to when the voting began, so it's not like they could have really run through all of the entries with a human. Now, what would have been a sane way of doing this? Accept all entries. Literally just all entries. Randomize the batches that you're showing to people. Do not display the like counter. Don't sort the builds that you're displaying for people most liked to least liked. If you receive too many entries, consider doing phases. Phase 1, we vote on a whole bunch of builds. Phase 2, you shortlist only so many builds that have received the most likes. And you can do as many phases of these as you want. Like after each phase, you just shortlist a bit more and shortlist a bit more and shortlist a bit more until eventually you have a reasonable amount of builds displayed that could, you could then select the winners from. That would have been a reasonable way of doing a competition. The way that they have done this competition, though, is just an absolute mess. I feel especially sorry for the person that had their build stolen. They had messaged the customer support, and hopefully customer support is gonna sort something out for them. But the last time when they messaged customer support about, hey, my build hasn't gotten in, they were like, yep, that's exactly what should have happened. Like, you just didn't make it. Kinda sucks to be you, but then you get to find out that somebody made it in with your build instead. But like an earlier, less built up version of it. So like your build, but slightly worse. So, that raises some eyebrows and that raises some questions. Honestly, I'm just so conditioned to forgive quite a lot of things when it comes to Infold, because this is not like the biggest way that they have ever fucked up. It's just that the competition is a fuck up. and you get used to there being like fuck ups, and over time you're like, oh, this is a fairly minor fuck up in comparison. But this is like one of the first bigger competitions that Infinity Nikki throws that like function like this, where the game redirects you to like a site to vote that a lot of people had a lot of hopes for and like submitted in builds and everything. So it sucks that it sucks. It sucks that somebody hasn't like done this with the proper care and attention that you should dedicate to making these sort of competitions. And you get Reddit threads that just go, well, my house got rejected from the competition. Sucks to be me, I guess, but like, take a look at it. Or I'm seeing nearly empty plots beating actual nice builds, skull emoji, and whoever's at the top is just gonna get snowball effect just from getting seen better. I shouldn't have spent any time of this thing. You get a lot of like disappointment. You get a lot of people that are coming out from this competition feeling very disappointed, and we're not even at a place where the winners get announced yet. People got disappointed about this competition the moment like the voting went up, pretty much, in like the first few days, just because of how the whole competition is set up and it's run. And in general, it's just not very good to disappoint your audience like this. Hence why this is how you don't run a competition. I hope that Infold learns from this going forward, and that competitions in the future will be a bit more sanely handled. And if they can't, then honestly I would prefer us not to have competitions. Like, just allow us to do our regular, average, everyday stuff of enjoying patches. We don't need this like extra bombastic events if you don't have the workers for it to actually like look over the entries, or if you can't just like design an interface where the likes are hidden and the order of display is randomized, and you can't like handle the amount of influx of applications that people have submitted to your, well, event. If you can't handle all of that, it is fine to just not do a competition. It's okay. Like, it's not like people are demanding competitions from you. Anyway, how's everybody else feeling about the whole housing competition? Were you like involved in it? Were you looking forward to it? Did you get disappointed? Is this like an acceptable standard? Like, have you seen any other companies run competitions like this, or is this like an Infold thing? Because honestly, I'm used to big companies really knowing what they're doing. So I'm used to there being some quality control when it runs to such competitions like these. Like, I've participated in the Sims Machinima competition before, and I've even won a prize. It's funny because I literally just went through my drawers looking for it. I wanted to show you guys. I have branded merch from that time when I entered Sims Machinima competition. I didn't feel like this peeved. It didn't feel unfair. It didn't like feel disorganized. And guys, I'm not like a sim for The Sims 4. I don't play it at the moment. I have my own issues with that game, and yet I came out from that competition feeling happy. This competition is just making people feel kind of sad. Honestly, this is pretty nice material. I should actually wear it at some point, just like for warmth's sakes. Like, it's nice and squishy. I never even unpacked it. It's been in my drawer for years now. But that is entirely off topic. How are you all feeling about this? Like, how has this competition been for you? Because maybe I just have unrealistic expectations. Please share your opinions in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for my Patreon supporters that allow me to enjoy a large variety of games and engage in Infinity Nikki the way that I want to engage with Infinity Nikki and sometimes spend a bit on it. And hopefully I get to see you on my other videos. This month, slight warning, I'm making a couple other critique videos where I want to talk about like bits and bobs to do with the game, so it's gonna be a bit more negatively painted. Next month, I want to have more videos where I overview the whole year in Infinity Nikki, because in December we should get 2.0 and it will be Infinity Nikki's anniversary in general. So during the last patch cycle, I kind of want to spend it looking back. So you kind of now know what to expect going forward, and I hope that I'm gonna see you there. And for now, toodaloo.